The Cleveland Browns find themselves once again trapped in a familiar and frustrating narrative, one that has repeated itself countless times over the past 2 decades. Simply put, the Browns are a bad football team, and their disappointing 26-8 loss to the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday only reinforced that reality. With the defeat, Cleveland stumbled to a 3-9 record, solidifying yet another lost season and what has felt like an endless cycle of half measures, questionable decisions, and unfulfilled potential. The latest storyline that emerged from this loss centers on the team's unusual decision to rotate its offensive guards, Wyatt Teller and Tevin Jenkins, throughout the game. Typically, offensive line chemistry is built through consistency, rhythm, and trust, not experimentation mid-season. But for some reason, the Browns coaching staff believed this was the week to try something different. After the game, Teller explained that this rotation wasn't random or performance-based in real time. It had been planned earlier in the week by head coach Kevin Stefanski himself. Teller didn't disclose much beyond that. He avoided discussing injuries or diving into excessive detail, but he did admit one key point, that Stefanski's choice to rotate him came along the lines of "I wasn't playing well enough." The phrasing alone was ambiguous. Was he truly underperforming? Was it a motivational tactic? Or was it Stefanski's attempt at evaluating younger personnel now that the season, for all intents and purposes, is already over? Stefanski, when asked directly, gave an equally vague explanation. He said that he wanted to see Tevin in this game, a comment that only deepened the confusion. Was this about future planning? Was this about dissatisfaction with Teller? Or simply another puzzling mid-season adjustment by a coaching staff that has been struggling to find answers? The decision comes at a curious time. Cleveland is currently starting rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, one of the most polarizing first-year players in the league. While Sanders' season has had its ups and downs, the offensive line in recent weeks has actually performed better than earlier in the year. Against the Las Vegas Raiders, the rookie was sacked only once, a significant accomplishment for a team that has struggled with protection issues in past seasons. Even in Sunday's loss to the 49ers, Sanders went down just 3 times, which is far from catastrophic considering San Francisco boasts one of the most aggressive and physically dominant defensive fronts in football. So why disrupt an offensive line that had been showing signs of improvement? That is the question many Browns fans and analysts are now wrestling with. Tevin Jenkins, the player with whom Teller was rotating, is a former second-round pick with undeniable raw talent. His time with the Chicago Bears, however, was inconsistent at best. Injuries, positional changes, and coaching turnover kept him from ever fully finding his footing. The Browns brought him in on a 1-year contract this offseason, likely with the hope that a new environment, stable coaching, and a fresh system could unlock the potential he once showed coming out of college. But even if there is optimism surrounding Jenkins, the timing of this rotational experiment feels questionable, especially when it occurs at the expense of Wyatt Teller, who has been one of Cleveland's most dependable and versatile linemen. Teller has long been considered a core fixture of the Browns' offensive identity. His strength, mobility, and ability to pull in wide zone and power run schemes are central to Kevin Stefanski's system. Stefanski relies heavily on misdirection, motion, and pulling guards to open up rushing lanes and create passing leverage. Teller's skill set is tailor-made for that structure, which makes his partial benching even more baffling. If the coaching staff believes he has been performing poorly enough to justify sharing snaps, then why not go all the way and bench him outright? And if they don't believe that, then why tamper with a foundational piece of the offense during a season that has already gone off the rails? This only adds to a broader list of issues haunting the Browns. The offensive struggles extend far beyond the offensive line. They have seeped into every corner of the unit. One glaring example is the mysterious disappearance of tight end David Njoku, a player who just weeks ago made headlines by declaring how much he loves playing in Cleveland. His statement came shortly after he was not traded at the NFL deadline, suggesting a commitment to the franchise even as frustrations mounted. But that loyalty seems increasingly puzzling given how the Browns have utilized, or rather failed to utilize him, in recent games. Njoku was invisible against the Raiders, failing to record a single catch. His involvement was only marginally better against the 49ers, where he hauled in just 2 receptions. This kind of usage is baffling, considering Njoku's athleticism, physicality, and proven ability to create mismatches. From a schematic standpoint, a struggling offense should be funneling more, not fewer, opportunities to proven playmakers. Yet Njoku has essentially become an afterthought, a ghost in an offense that can't afford to waste weapons. With 5 games remaining in what has become a meaningless stretch of the season, it's clear the Browns are shifting their focus towards younger players. Rookie Harold Fannin Jr. is emerging as a promising tight end option, perhaps even positioning himself to take over Njoku's role full-time next season. Running backs Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson have injected new life into the offense in recent weeks, showcasing quickness, versatility, and flashes of long-term potential. This youth movement suggests a broader philosophical shift. The coaching staff may be preparing for a roster reset. And if Stefanski is truly committed to benching or limiting veterans based on performance or perceived performance, then players like Jerry Jeudy may soon find themselves on notice. Jeudy, who was brought in with hopes of adding dynamism to the receiving corps, has instead been a source of consistent frustration. Drops, miscommunications, and mental lapses have plagued his season, raising questions about his long-term fit in Cleveland. If Teller can be benched despite years of dependable play, then Jeudy is certainly not immune. The Browns' trajectory is worrisome, not only for this season but for the franchise's long-term future. The locker room dynamic is uncertain, the coaching decisions are becoming increasingly erratic, and the roster construction feels unbalanced. Young talent exists, but developing it requires stability, something Cleveland chronically lacks. Next Sunday, the Browns will face the Tennessee Titans, a team operating on a similar competitive level. Both franchises are trapped in transitional phases, trying to figure out who they are and what direction they need to take. The matchup won't have playoff implications, but it will serve as a measuring stick for where the Browns stand as an organization. Are they trending upward with their youth movement, or are they spiraling further into confusion, inconsistency, and instability? Right now, the answer seems unclear, but what is clear is that the Cleveland Browns have once again reached a breaking point, one that demands introspection, accountability, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths surrounding this franchise. Unless things change dramatically, both in leadership and philosophy, the Browns may continue drifting aimlessly from season to season, never fully building the contender their fanbase has been longing for.